Okay, so let us express our syukur or gratitude to Allah Subhanahu Wa Taala. Okay, by saying Alhamdulillah. Yeah, Alhamdulillah, because we still have time and we still have our opportunity to be in our Usrah this week. Okay. Alright, so inshallah this week we are going to continue our previous week discussion. Okay, I'm not sure whether you still remember or not, but I'm going to assume that you all remember. Yeah. Alright, so we discussed last week about the definition of akhlaq and also adab, and we discussed one of the sources of akhlaq in Islam, okay, which is Al-Quran. And I have also mentioned to you several indication or several expression or words that Al-Quran use in order to indicate good action and also to indicate bad action. Okay, but for further detail, I guess you can refer to the reference later on. Okay, when we finish, the printing process of the book. Yeah. Alright, now we will inshallah analyze the second source of akhlaq in Islam. Okay. Basically, last week, if you still remember, I asked you one question. Okay, I said why in Islam, whenever it comes to the question of akhlaq, we cannot use our intellect. One of the biggest questions in our life is basically what is good and bad. When people ask you, can you tell us what is good? Can you tell us what is bad? So this one question is actually really difficult to be answered. Why? Because everybody they have their own. We have our own interest, for example. If our interest is money, so anything which is related to money will be good for us. Okay, if your interest, for example, love, to get someone's love, then anything which will contribute you to get the love, you will consider those things as good. Okay, but of course in Islam that is not the way. So how do we identify or how do we define good and bad? Like I mentioned before, good in Islam is what Allah says good. Bad in Islam is what Allah says bad. Okay, so everything that we do in our life, we define the good and evil or the good and bad, based on the evidences that we get from Al-Quran and also the Sunnah. And of course from other discipline of knowledge in Islam that are derived from Al-Quran and also the Sunnah. Okay, alright. So Sunnah or the prophetic tradition, okay, in English, is the second most important source in Islam. Okay, it refers to the action of the Prophet ﷺ. And of course when we speak about hadith refers to three things. Okay, it refers to the action of the Prophet ﷺ. It refers to the words of the Prophet ﷺ. It also refers to the tacit approval of the Prophet ﷺ. Okay, tacit approval means the silent approval. Let's say for example, the most famous hadith is regarding the eating of the dog. You know what is dog? It refers to the one type of lizard, biawak, in the desert. Okay, so basically, one of the sahabat invited Prophet to eat the dog, but Prophet didn't do it. But at the same time, he didn't prohibit the sahabat to eat it. So this is what we call the takrir, the silent approval of the Prophet. Whenever Prophet is silent, it means that he approves that. Okay, alright. And Sunnah serves as the role model for all Muslims to be emulated as described by the Quran in many of its verses. And the Prophet ﷺ is the best role model for all Muslims in all aspects of action and also character. And that's why Sunnah is basically the second source of akhlaq in Islam. So whatever Prophet did in his life should be emulated by all Muslims. Okay? Alright. And let's see here number 3. Islamic creed and theology. Okay, it refers to Aqidah. There are many principles in Aqidah that shape the ethics of human beings. The act of association of Allah, shirk for example, and hypocrisy or nifaq for example, provide guideline and boundary of ethics and also morality. So let's say for example in Aqidah we learn about shirk, and we know shirk is basically one of the biggest sin, and in fact the biggest sin. Allah mentioned in one of the ayat in the Quran, Allah will forgive all other sin except shirk. But of course ulama mentioned Allah can still forgive you provided that you really do taubat nasuha. Okay, you make resolution or you promise to yourself you're not going to repeat the same action of shirk. Okay, alright. And also nifaq, or what we call as munafiq. And we know, in the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, Prophet mentioned there are 4 characteristics of the munafiq, of the hypocrites. And number 1 is what?
Whenever he speaks, he lies.
Yeah, whenever he speaks, he lies. And number 2, whenever he promises, he will break the promise. Okay, and whenever he is given amanah, he will break the amanah. Okay, he will breach the amanah. And the last one, whenever he argues, he abuses or he become excessive. Okay, so we know that these 4 actions, they are all considered as the characteristic of munafik, and therefore we should avoid this kind of action. Okay, alright. And also the discussion of the concept of justice, for example, in Aqidah, and the concept of rights and responsibility, freedom of choice, and other in Islamic theology also provides the meaning towards ethics and morality. And inshallah we will discuss all these things later. Okay, particularly the concept of freedom of choice in Islam. Okay, because freedom of choice in Islam, it doesn't mean you have the absolute and total freedom. Okay, you have limited freedom, or your freedom is only determined by God. Okay, because in our life there are 2 kinds of rights that we have to preserve. Okay, this is very what we call it in general. Number 1 we call it Haqqullah, and number 2 is Haqqul Ibad, the rights of Allah and the rights of human being. Okay, or the rights of the creatures, the makhluk. Okay, so you must take care, or you must preserve the rights of Allah first, and then Allah will take care of your right. Okay, in one of the hadith, Prophet ﷺ mentioned, Ihfadillah yahfazka. Okay, if you take care of the hak of the rights of Allah, Allah will take care of your rights. Kalau kita menjaga hak Allah, Allah akan menjaga hak kita. Okay, alright. The Islamic theology also provides the meaning toward ethics and morality. Okay, the next one, Islamic jurisprudence or fiqh. Yeah. So there are many works of Islamic jurisprudence which discuss question and knowledge of Sharia, as well as rules and basis of Muslim obligation. It is called Sharia, not Shania. Okay. Did you read the message that I sent in the WhatsApp group? Shania law or Shania law or something. Yeah, it is very wrong. It's called Sharia law. Okay. Alright. So Islamic jurisprudence also is based, on the principle of the rules of the Sharia have been designed to produce good or masalih and remove evil or mafasid, and these are certainly their ends and objective. You know, if you learn fiqh, for example, in Islam, the objective of all hukum. Okay, let's say for example, whenever you learn about the hukum of drinking alcohol. Okay, why drinking alcohol is haram in Islam? Of course, in detail you will find different answer. But the general principle of every hukum in Islam is actually to produce goods or masalih and to remove the evil, mafasid. So everything that Allah says haram is basically for your good and also to remove evil. And at the same time, whenever Allah says it is good, it is actually to produce good and also to remove the evil. Okay, but of course in fiqh we have many other principles. For example, we have Saddu Zara'ah, we have Istihsan and so on. Okay, which will be discussed later. Alright, and the masalih are those which, let's see here, promote the preservation and fulfillment of human life and the realization of all that the human nature, animal and rational demand till one is happy in every aspect. Okay, so basically the function of fiqh is to make you happy in every aspect of your life. But your happiness should be defined by the Sharia law. It's not to be defined by some other kind of thought and also ideology. We have discussed this in previous week. Yeah? Alright. So the statement clearly shows that the objective of the Sharia is to secure the balanced well-being of human or man, as well as to fulfill man's comprehensive needs as a human being. Apart from the discussion of this objective, Muslim jurists also discuss about the level of obligation and the factors that may upgrade or downgrade the obligation of individual acts. Okay, later on we will discuss about the fardu ain, the fardu kifayah and so on. Okay, but this is to show actually the sources of Islamic ethics. Okay, so all akhlaq that we have in Islam, they are all based on the Quran, the Sunnah, and also the other discipline of knowledge which are derived from the Quran and Sunnah. Okay, alright. Okay, any question? Okay. Alright, the importance of Islamic ethics, akhlaq. You know, sometimes people, ask question, why is it so important to learn akhlaq? Or why is it so important to observe akhlaq? Okay, so let's see. Number one is the development of society. Okay? Islam gives very much emphasis on the significance of ethics and its importance for the development of society in a particular nation. Good individual will produce a good society at large, and this is said by Allah Subhanahu wa Taala in the Holy Quran, "Wal takum minkum ummatu yad'una ila al-khair wa ya'muruna bil ma'ruf wa yanhauna 'anil munkar wa ulaika humul muflihun." So if you look at the translation, look at the meaning of muflihun. Muflihun refers to those who will be the successful. Okay? So if you promote good akhlak in society, or you become good society, and then you promote good akhlak, you will be successful. And this is the guarantee of Allah in the Holy Quran. It is not the guarantee of the government. It is not the guarantee even of the teacher or someone else. This is the guarantee from Allah. Okay? I still remember when I was in class before, I always mention to my student, be educated and educating others. Okay? And that's why in the what we call it, in the social media right now, I'm really against people using bad words. I'm not talking about bad words as harsh word. Harsh word is totally understood that it is actually bad. But the bad words like jangan cakap abang tak payung, I mean, I don't like those things because it doesn't show the educated society who likes to educate others. People use many that, and then keep it up, don't give up. I mean, it's totally meaningless. Please don't do that. That shows that you are not educated. At the same time, you don't want to educate others. And if you go to school nowadays, I always visit my friends who are in school. They are teachers. Some of my friends, they are teaching Bahasa Melayu, and they said the way students write their essay right now is really bad. It is because of the influence from the social media. And surprisingly, this is done by the adults. And later on, when the young student, they write something wrong in the essay, and then the adults will start to short screen and make it even more viral in Facebook, and then they laugh at it. They're not even trying to correct it. They treat it as a joke. So where is the culture of being educated and educating others? There is no. Okay? So let's promote this culture. Okay? I just don't understand why people use that word. Jangan cakap abang tak payung. I was like, sometimes you are not even abang. Sometimes the one who write this is actually a woman. I don't know. Yeah, me too. I don't understand that. Jangan cakap abang tak payung.
Is it?
And this statement, this verse has become one of the most famous statements written by the student in their essay. So please lah. So please. Okay? We always preach that we are going to educate the society, we are going to change society, so change this. Please. Yeah? At least people in Reniban shouldn't do that. At least. Yeah, that's the least thing that we can do. Alright? And another word I don't like is abang. I don't know what is abang. It's some kind of apam that you eat. Yeah, why you use abang? Because you are going to. That's why don't do that. If it is two words, make it two words. Abang tembang. What's wrong about it? There is nothing wrong. If it is two words, just write two words. Abang tembang. Why make it abang? So we want everything to be short. So when our children are short-minded, and then we are angry. Think about it lah. Yeah, let's be educated and get the culture of educating others. Stop all this. I'm going to use very harsh word now. Stop this all those things. Please stop it. It is really ridiculous. Okay? I'm worried about this because I'm going to have my own junior after this. That I don't want that to happen. Seriously. Yeah? So please stop it. At least in Reniban we shouldn't have that culture. Okay, and try to promote this to others. Yeah, alright. And of course, if I write this in the Facebook, then I'm going to be bashed, of course. People will use many ridiculous reasons and excuses. And they say this is for fun, this is not serious, this is not a formal place. Yes, this is not a formal place. But sadly speaking, the children are taking this seriously. And you know that children, they will copy everything that the adults do. Everybody knows this. So why are we still doing bad things? And it doesn't make sense. Yeah? Alright. So this is the importance of ethics, to develop a good society. So that's why even in Facebook, whatever you write, you should observe your ethics. I'm not just talking about Facebook, the social media. Okay? Alright. Question? Objection? Not you. Alright. Number 2. The objective of prophetic mission is to perfect akhlak. Okay, there is one famous hadith, Prophet SAW mentioned in the hadith, Innama bu'ithu li'utamima makarimal akhlak. Okay, Prophet say, I have been sent by Allah in order to perfect good akhlak. Okay? The Prophet SAW was sent by Allah to beautify our character and also ethics. And Anas ibn Malik reported that the Messenger SAW said, I have been sent to perfect good character. Okay, Innama bu'ithu li'utamima makarimal akhlak. And this is the indication that akhlak is really important in order to observe our relation to Allah. Because whenever Allah sent Prophet SAW, one of the mission of the Prophet is to beautify our character. So if we claim we are the followers of the Prophet SAW, it is the time to beautify our character and also ethics. Yeah? Alright, and number 3, all forms of ibadah are designed as exercises and trainings for the advancement of akhlak. Okay, ibadah in Islam serve as a means to acquire good akhlak. For example, solat prevents evil, as-sawm or fasting is a stepping stone to righteousness, and zakat is a means of purification. And al-hajj as a complete mode of worship is the ultimate form of one sacrifice to Allah. Okay, for example, when you do solat, you know in Islam, in Al-Quran there is one ayat. Okay, what is the ayat? Inna salata kanat 'alal mu'minin kitaban mawquta. Okay, Allah mentioned that the salat is wajib upon Muslim in specific time. Okay, so whenever we perform salat, we are actually encouraged to perform salat in the earlier time, in the early time of salat. So that basically train us to be what? To be cautious with time. Okay, we have zakat, for example. Zakat trains our soul not to be selfish, because we help others who are in need. Okay, saum, for example, is also training our soul not to be selfish, because we know that there are many our brothers and sisters out there who are not eating and drinking. They don't have enough nutrition even. So that's why we want to feel the same thing that they are feeling. Okay, alright. And Allah mentioned in Quran. Ya. A'udzubillahi minasyaitonir rajim. Utlu ma uhiya ilaika minal kitab wa aqimis shalah. Inna salata tanha 'anil fahsya'i wal munkar wa la dzikrullahi akbar wallahu ya'lamu ma tasna'un. Ya. Allah mention in Quran, recite O Muhammad what has been revealed to you of the book and establish prayer. Indeed prayer prohibits immorality and wrongdoing. Sesungguhnya solat dapat mencegah perbuatan yang keji dan mungkar. Okay, but some people ask question, Ustaz, I do solat, at the same time I do maksiat. So what happened to the solat? Is the solat not acceptable by Allah? The answer is wallahu alam. Whether Allah accept it or not, that is only known to Allah. Okay, but from the indication, when you say that you do solat but you still do bad things, it is the indication that your solat is not it's not perfect. There is something wrong with your solat, especially on the khusyuk and intention part. Okay, someone might do solat, but he might be doing it for any other reason, not for the sake of Allah. Okay, so that's the indication. Alright, I remember when I was still very very young, when I was in university, I went to one shopping mall and I saw one young couple. So they are holding each other's hand, boyfriend and girlfriend. and they are heading to surau, they are heading to musalla.
Oh my God.
So whenever they arrive at the front of the musalla, and then they say, okay, you go on, and then both of them separated and they perform the salat. And after they finish the salat, they start holding hands again. And then they continue doing whatever they are doing. Okay, so this is actually very surprising. I was very surprised because I was thinking in my mind, okay, salat is supposed to prevent you from maksiat. But this young couple, right before salat, they did maksiat right before salat, and they do again the maksiat right after salat. So what happened? Okay, there must be something wrong somewhere. Alright, so if we are in that state or in that situation, this is actually the time for us to do muhasabah. Check again our salat. Okay, or check again our relationship with Allah. Yeah. Alright, number 4. Iman is imperfect without good akhlaq. Yeah. Iman is a power that encourages one to achieve high attributes and good morals, and keeps man away from the low attribute and evil acts. And the Prophet ﷺ said, the most complete believers in Iman are those who are best in character. So if your character is not good, then that is the indication that Iman is still not perfect. Okay? And then that's why, if you still remember when we discussed about the definition of akhlaq, yeah, remember I said that whatever, if your soul is good, if your inside is good, the good akhlaq will be projected outside. So the same thing, if iman is good, the akhlaq will be good as well. It will be automatic. Okay, it will be simultaneously. Okay, and that's why you cannot say, I'm not that good, but I'm actually very good inside. You cannot say that. Okay, it is not valid in Islam. Okay, alright. Okay, the way to enter paradise. Everybody wants Jannah, right? One of our what we call it, preaching in Brady Bunch is we want our children to love Jannah. Okay, so what is the way to enter Jannah? Okay, there are many ways, but akhlaq is one of the ways. And the Prophet ﷺ had mentioned on the people who will enter the paradise. Abu Hurairah reported that the messenger was asked about a thing which would cause most of the people to enter into paradise. And the Prophet ﷺ answered, it is the fear of Allah and beautiful akhlaq. So if you want to get paradise, then you should fear Allah, taqwa, and you should have good akhlaq. Yeah? Then the Prophet was asked about the thing which would lead most of the people go to hell. And he answered, it is the mouth and the genital. There are two things Prophet said that will bring you to hell. Your mouth and also your genital, your private part. Yeah? Alright. Which also related to akhlaq. Right? Okay, number 6. Good akhlaq leads to be nearest and dearest to the Prophet. Yeah? In one hadith, the Prophet said, on the day of judgment, the dearest and the closest to me among my companions, okay, my people, will be those who possess the best akhlaq. Right? Okay, and number 7, good deeds merit less without good akhlaq. Understand that? You get less reward. Okay, less merit. Nawas bin Sam'an reported that he asked the Messenger SAW as to what righteous deed and sinful deed is. What is righteous deed? What is sinful deed? Okay, O Prophet. And the Prophet replied, righteous is an action of a person which annoy or repress his mind and his dislike other people to know it, to see it or to stare at it. Understand it? It means he does something, at the same time he doesn't like people to know it. Okay, meaning to say, he doesn't show off his good action. He tried his best to conceal. And there is also another hadith of the Prophet. Prophet said what? The indication of righteous man is someone who does good thing and later on he forgets about it. He didn't waste his time to tell people what he did, the good things. Okay, and there are also the saying of wisdom of ulama. They say, conceal your good action as much as you try to conceal your bad action.
that. Can we? What is your opinion in terms of like organizations? Not just talking. I mean, in organizations in general, whenever they're doing like charity work,
Yeah.
mostly.
That's something else. That depends on the intention. If the intention is actually to motivate others to do the same thing, then you can do it. It must be with the right intention, with the right way as well. Okay? But if it is with the wrong intention, and this is where it is considered as you will get less merit. You will get merit, you will get reward, but it will be less. Yeah? But at the end of the day, it all depends on our intention. Yeah? And whenever it comes to intention, only Allah knows that.